Hello everyone, this is Kang Snow for Lightspeed Saber League, the world's fastest light-based fencing. And I am excited to bring to you some of the first drafts of the Tico Saber designed by Jacob Mashmeyer at Shatterpoint Sabers. I just want to say that Jacob has been really awesome. He's been working day and night. I get updates from him in the middle of the night, and I think he's 2 or 3 hours ahead of me. So he's been working really hard on this, and I'm very excited to present some of these concepts to you. So I asked Jacob to go ahead and give me a couple different designs and try out different colors and different combinations of components. And so I'm going to give you about 10 different combinations to look at, and you tell me what you think, okay? So right here we have A1. It has a deep red color. Let me get to the next picture here. I think it shows the rose design a lot better. There it is. That is really cool. I really love the rosy tips on these. I'm actually really curious how this might look in the reverse, actually, with it being predominantly gold with some red tips instead. So I think that might be kind of cool. I think the body is okay. It's very straightforward with some accents and a very sharp pommel. To me, it looks fairly aggressive. I think the deep red has deep red at this point for Star Wars has a lot of meaning to it since it was such a strong motif in The Last Jedi. So it actually, to me, has a certain evil connotation, actually, now. So I don't know what else people might see, but let me know in the comments, okay? All right, let's go to the next one here. All right, similar design, similar body, but has a sloping pommel instead, with a dark color palette instead, with kind of a charcoal, with some gold accents on the body there. So that's kind of neat. It has a silver collar this time, so that's different. All right. To me, it feels kind of dark personally, so I feel like it doesn't quite match up with the gold. But again, you tell me what you think. And here's another version of it with a more ornate pommel. I kind of like this pommel. It's got some ribs on it, and otherwise it's a very similar design. It has a white collar instead of a silver collar, so that's interesting. That has an interesting look to it, actually. That might be kind of cool. And let's see. Let's go to B3. Okay. Again, another very different pommel here. I'm not a fan of this type of pommel, but this looks really cool in the gold, in my opinion, though. Has a much smaller, fatter ribs, so that's interesting. And it has it has a pointed pommel, but it's not really as pronounced as the first one in the A1 and A2. And again, has the same kind of rosy emitter with the white. I think that looks pretty neat, actually. Let's go to C1. C1 expands out the design of the pommel and puts it right onto the body of the saber itself. So those ridges and ribs are now on the body of the saber, and a little bit less dark. It's got more white on it. I think this looks pretty cool. I think too much charcoal can make it seem a bit too dark, but white, red, and the charcoal and gold, that's kind of neat. You know. Here's a C2, and it is very similar to the last one, but it now has that bulbous pommel on it now. I think that's pretty cool, actually. And here, this one's kind of different. I just wanted to get a different perspective on this. I did this one myself. I did a recolor of a gray one that he did. I believe this is the same as Actually, never mind. It's totally different. So that's a totally separate saber. So this is a D1 design. I actually do like the curves of this design, actually. I kind of like it more simple, actually, because it lets us focus more on the design of the emitter, which is really just beautiful. So I'm kind of liking the direction of making the body a bit more simple, and so that the emitter can really shine. I'm not personally a fan of ridges on the body because you can't really hold this saber comfortably. But it does look cool. Now, the coloration I did on this one, I tried to kind of match up the design of the Rose Tico medallion. It's not a really good reproduction. the gold capability that Jacob has on his machine is much better than mine. I was just doing it through Photoshop, so it really doesn't match up quite correctly. So this isn't really a true gold. But I wanted to give this a shot and see what it might be like if it was fully gold, and to be able to match up with the medallion. At some point, we'll put up the medallion shape and etch it onto the body. That's another reason to have a more plain body, so that there's plenty of space to do etching once we get to that step. Okay, so I'll go ahead and run through all of them one more time really fast, just so you get one more look at it. So here's A1. It's kind of a rocket-looking design, and very, very red, very, very red. To me, it's very Snoky, actually. So yeah, it has kind of a dichotomy to it. So it has almost a light side, dark side feel to it, in my opinion. And here it is again. It's the same design, but from a different angle. I just want to make sure you can see the rose. The rose design from this angle is so awesome. All right, let's go to B1. Okay, B1, we've changed out the body, and it has a tapered, sloping pommel there. Very plain, very simple. The body is very straightforward. It has a single diameter, essentially, with a silver collar. And here is a very similar design with a white collar this time, and with a more ornate pommel with ridges on it. And that was B2. And here's B3, same design, but with a changed out pommel with that is more of a bulb this time, with less pronounced ridges, but they're flatter. It has a point at the end of the pommel, similar to A1 and A2, but it's much less pronounced. All right, and here is C1. Okay, C1 has the ridgy pommel from before, but it now has put those ridges onto the body itself. All right, and it's a lot less black overall, a lot less charcoaly in the design. And here's C2, where it has kept the ridges on the body but replaced the pommel cap with the bulbous pommel cap. So that's an interesting one there. And then finally here's D1, which is a ridged body with a plain tapered pommel. And I did the recolor on this just to have an idea of what it might be like to be fully gold in this case. All right. So I think this is really, really great progress. I am really thrilled by the design of the emitter, and after I'm seeing all these options, I think I'm starting to get a better picture of what I think would be the best. But please let me know what you think, and I will pass this information on to Jacob so that he can take the feedback and get a better design. Again, he's been working really, really hard at this, and I am so honored at the work that he's doing, and I am very honored at the people who have volunteered to do the fabrication. I've got to interview a couple of people who are local to me in Southern California. Obviously, that'll be the best for fabrication, but I've also heard from great people over at Enso Workshop, I believe. John over there has done some amazing stuff. Got great taste in music, by the way. And I am very much looking forward to seeing if I can get as many people on the project as I can. I don't want to leave anyone out, but of course we want to be able to do this as efficiently and as effectively as possible. But regardless, I am so tremendously grateful for everyone who has donated money and who has shared the project and has also volunteered their time. Okay, we are at around $700 right now, and I believe we can build something really, really awesome. I believe if we go any higher than this, we're really looking at doing some really fancy internals. I think we can probably build... I actually don't know about the manufacturing part. I don't know how much that's going to cost. I think I could feel pretty good if we could get to like 1,000 or 1,200 or something like that. I believe that'll get us enough to do the custom machining. But if you know more about that, let me know. And I could definitely use people's help on this. I have definitely never built a saber myself like this before, or I've never been the lead on the design of a project. I usually leave my lightsmith Vickers to do all this stuff for me, and he's great, by the way. He's always trying to educate me on this stuff, and it just goes out my ears. I just cannot absorb it. I really try. I really do. I do know more than I did before, though. I do, and that's thanks to him. So I appreciate that, Vickers. Anyway, if you haven't given to the project, I would really appreciate that. I'm only asking $2 per person. Okay, it's really about donors over dollars. Okay, I want names on the list. I want this to come from the Star Wars community to give a Star Wars gift to a Star Wars person. Okay, if you check out my video on getting called out on why I want to do this project and not just a straight anti-bullying project. Okay, this is about Star Wars. This is about our community doing better. Okay, and that means it has to focus on this community. It has to focus on righting the wrongs of the people in our community, and that includes the creators of this community, the Star Wars creators, the actors, the directors, the writers, all those people at Disney and Lucasfilm. Okay, this is about all those people, and it's about us. Okay, it's about doing better. Okay, for all of us. All right. So thank you so much for watching. Please leave your votes in the comments, and I encourage you to pick apart each component that you like. Okay, and tell me which ones you like and which ones you would like to see combined together, and tell me what colors you'd like. Okay, you are welcome to take a screenshot and go ahead and remix it a little bit and show us what you think would be best. Okay, this really is a community project. Okay, and I'm really humbled and proud to be able to be part of this, to bring this to you guys. Okay, all right, thank you so much. May the force be with you guys. Have a great day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.